Okay, good evening. I'm going to ask you some question about the reading and about your teaching experience.
Okay.
So the first one is taking into account your experience as a foreign language teacher, how it is possible to develop activities where learners engage in the pragmatic, authentic, functional use of language for meaningful communication.
Well, the first thing is you have to teach your students significant activities, things that they are going to use in their daily life, because some teachers just teach grammar or how to write correctly English, and that's not the issue. The issue is that the students have and can communicate with others, and that's the thing I use. So they need to communicate, so they need to talk, to make mistakes, to correct the mistakes, and then they can like learn functional English.
The second one is historically. The field of second language acquisition has established different linguistic theories: structural, generative, rational, and discursive analysis, which are associated with specific methods: classical, direct grammar, translation, audiolingual, silence way, communicative process, and communicative competence. Taking this information into account, what method do you usually use in the development of your foreign language teaching?
I really love communicative approach. I think that is the most useful method for learning English. I learn English that way, so I consider this good. But obviously, we as teachers are not just marriage with just one method, but we are holistic. So we use things for direct, things for clear, things for communicative, but I try to focus my classes into communicative approach because I think students need to learn by communicating, by interacting with others. Learning a language is not just you by yourself, but you with others because you construct and you build community with others. I prepared pair activities, group activities, games in which they have to guess clues for the other ones, or just presentations they need to do. So they talk a lot.
The third one is, according with Brown, 1994, self-confidence and self-esteem play an important role in the second language acquisition. A learner with this principle will acquire the second language more quickly and accurately. Based on this information, how can a teacher provide feedback to a student who is making many mistakes without affecting his self-esteem and commitment in the class?
Making mistakes in learning a language is the daily bread. They obviously are going to make mistakes, and they need to be aware that they are going to make mistakes. So we as teachers need to control that self-esteem they have, not punishing them and correcting them in the bad way, but just guiding them into correcting those mistakes, because obviously they are going to have many mistakes because they are just learning, and when we learned English we made many mistakes too. So I think that the way we correct them is like the clue, because we need to be nice, we need to be kind, we need to guide them, not just to punish them because they are saying the word in the bad way, but to correct and make them aware that they need to correct themselves, they need to be self-aware of their mistakes.
Okay, thank you. Having in mind that the test explains some Quechua students learning Spanish as their second language in Peru, do you imagine some programs with Quechua Colombian speakers in Bogota? Do you consider their culture will be reduced and limited to reach the goals desired?
Poorly here in Colombia, we don't take into account those indigenous languages. I don't know why, because I consider them, they are so important because they are so rich in our culture and in our history. But I think those like immersion of those indigenous languages are not going to work here in Colombia, because we are concentrated in other things. We are concentrated in USA or Europe, but we are not taking into account those indigenous people. But in my personal opinion, I think they are very important and we need to keep them in mind. We need to teach our students that we are indigenous towns. We are Bosa is an indigenous town too. We are Muiscas, so we need to be aware of our culture, our history. But I don't think those like Quechua, Spanish politics are going to work here.
Okay. The fifth question is if becoming bilingual means to obtain not only a new language but also a new culture, way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Brown, 1994. Do you consider possible an identity loss or replacement by the new culture?
I don't think so because we are not immersed in that English culture. We are just trying to learn a language, but Colombian culture is very strong, and we have many identity issues that are not going to break away because just we are learning English. So I think that if we were near to USA or Canada, Australia, England, maybe we will lose those language identities. But like right now, as we are a South American country, we are not going to lose our identity because we are learning a new language. Maybe we are just picking some
Yeah.
things like some expressions from English or the culture from music and clothes, but we are not going to lose our identity because of that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.